will a medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid?
But you see how much kidnappers are picking for victims.
My thing is, government should, I think, all the stakeholders get that, and I think we get that. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your energy will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning. My name is Winifred Webo, and of course, it's my pleasure to be with you on set today for Inside Nigeria, reaching you on Leadership Podcast Studio here in the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. As you can see, my co-host Bode Gbadebo is unavoidably absent this morning, so I'm alone in the studio to present today's Inside Nigeria. But I have with me a staff, an insider, to be analyzing papers with me on the side today, and his name is Paul Wadima. Paul, you're welcome to today's Inside Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So without wasting much time, we'll be going over to our staple leadership newspaper, and of course, it's Nigeria's most influential newspaper. And on leadership today, it says, amid rising insecurity, Inspector General of Police deploys 100 DIGs, AIGs, CPS for Anambra governorship poll. Amid rising insecurity, IGP deploys 100 DIGs, AIGs, CPS for Anambra governorship poll. As northern governors want state police established urgently, say recent events suggest urgent permanent solutions. The northern governors also lament federal government's refusal to grant end-user certificate for security gadgets. Vigilantes key district head brother for conspiring with bandits in Niger State. That is on leadership newspaper today. Mr. Paul, what is your view? What's your thoughts on this?
I'm not surprised, like many other Nigerians, that the IGP decided to deploy such top-ranking officials to supervise the Anambra election. Given the rising insecurity in the southeast in general, and in Anambra in particular, it is expected that something has to be done to give confidence to voters, to the electorate, to come out and vote. There have been recent killings in Anambra State, including high-profile killing of some indigenous of that state. So that kind of is worrisome to Nigerians, and I'm sure the presidency too. So that was why they have to do what they did. It is expected. In the past, we used to complain that militarization of elections used to stop voters from coming out. But it's like what is happening in the southeast, and Anambra in particular. They have brought it upon themselves. There's no way that there will be large security presence to make sure that the election holds. It's a very good step. We just hope that will be enough to make people to come out.
Yes.
We have had a history of low voter turnout in Nigeria, and with insecurity in Anambra State ahead of the election, it creates a lot of doubt whether they'll be able to make up a significant number to come out and vote. So what the IGP did is in order. And northern governors want state police established urgently. Many Nigerians will agree with them that the federal police is no longer enough to handle the security threat we have in the country. It's just not enough. There's a need for state police, and the earlier this thing is settled through collaboration between the state governors and the National Assembly and the presidency, the better for the country. Then they're also talking about solutions. There's a need to find solution to the security challenges and the issue of police, state police, and all that. It's very urgent. It has to be looked into. And I don't understand why federal government will refuse to give them security gadgets when they need it. Because these northern states, they have been at the receiving end of insecurity in Nigeria.
Yes.
We know that insecurity in Nigeria is nationwide, but they have been very, very particular in the north.
Yes.
So if the state governors want some gadgets, I'm surprised that they are not being given the permission to get them. Perhaps the federal government has a reason why they don't want to allow them to have them.
And Mr. Paul, we see these bandits or terrorists, whatever you call them, decide to call them. They all have all these high-end, high-profile these gadgets,
Yes.
guns and AK-47, the brandish, even these ammunitions that can even down a plane. So, I mean, that's what is hampering civilians' efforts to curb banditry in their zone.
Yes, because if these gadgets they are looking for by the northern state governors is maybe to better equip the vigilantes who are the community police in quote that we presently have.
Yes.
I think the federal government needs to listen to them because nobody controls the bandits. They have access to weapons and we don't know how they get them. So those who want to acquire gadgets that can help to secure the community legally, I think federal government should assist the states to have access to these gadgets.
Okay, Mr. Paul, moving over to the forthcoming Anambra governorship poll. Prior to this time, there has always been a voter apathy, especially in the southeast. And now that the zone is going to be militarized, that is the state, Anambra, don't you think it will also affect the turnout for the election?
I expect a very low turnout. I'll be surprised if there's no low turnout in Anambra election. Because it's not just naturally or generally there is this voter apathy in the southeast and in Anambra state. And this voter apathy is because a lot of people have lost confidence in the electoral process. They feel that the system has already been rigged against them, so they don't even bother to come out to vote. That's one of the major challenges. But in recent time, the activities of IPOB, which has been issuing all manners of sit-at-home orders, and it's likely to impact the election because the IPOB has threatened that if their leader is not released by November 4th, that they will start a sit-at-home, which will not end until around 10th when their leader will be in court. That would be that's a major threat that will affect the election. So that is why I'm sure that security will be more tight in Anambra State, and the security being more tight and the fear that people have about IPOB and their supporters, many people may not come out to vote. I see a significant low turnout. And when there is a significant low turnout, it makes it easier for election riggers to have their way. That's the danger.
Okay. Thank you for that. Moving from leadership newspaper, we are going over to another sister publication, the National Economy. On National Economy today says Nigeria's per capita income stagnant in 40 years, according to World Bank. Nigeria's per capita income stagnant in 40 years, says World Bank. Mr. Paul.
The headline has said it all.
Yes.
It's just a reminder of why we are where we are. That's what headline is telling us about. The per capita income of our nation have been stagnant for 40 years.
Yes.
It means we have not been making progress for 40 years.
For 40 years.
A nation, a very giant of Africa, has been stagnant economically in terms of per capita income for 40 years. It's worrisome.
Yes.
I hope something is done about it. I hope that those who are managing the Nigerian economy should study this and do something about it so that we will not, in the next 40 years, be talking about that Nigerian per capita income is still stagnant, that would be disastrous for the nation and future generations.
Yes, and Mr. Paul, what it means is that 40 out of 61 years of Nigeria's independence,
Yeah.
Nigeria's per capita has been stagnant for all those years. 40 out of 61 years.
It's an indication of how well we have managed our economy.
Wow. That is just so bad.
Yeah, it is.
It
It
is.
is.
Meaning
That's
that
why
Nigeria
all the indices of development
Yes.
are negative in Nigeria.
Yes, have remained negative. We're talking about health indices, talking about education indices. They remain, if anything, they have even gone under over the years because we have not really made any upward trend in development. So moving over from national economy, we are going to the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper. On Guardian newspaper today, still on economy too. That is why I want us to look at the Guardian newspaper. Weak export capacity undermines proceeds from naira devaluation. Weak export capacity undermines proceeds from naira devaluation. AFDB, that is African Development Bank, faults federal government stance on import substitution, says is restrictive vision. Nigeria's export value per capita remains abysmally low at $160. You see, that is on the national economy. It costs $35,000 to export 100 tons of produce from Nigeria compared to $4,000 in Ghana. Stakeholders raise concerns over government's foreign exchange policies, port system, policies, somersault, and interest rates. Weak export capacity undermines proceeds from naira devaluation. As African Development Bank force federal government stance on import substitution, says its restrictive vision. Nigeria's export value per capita remains abysmally low at $160. It costs $35,000 to export 100 tons of produce from Nigeria compared to $4,000 in Ghana, as well as stakeholders raise concerns over federal government's foreign exchange policies, port system, policies, somersaults, and interest rates. All these potpourris of stories on Guardian newspaper today. Mr. Paul.
Yeah, it's a fact. Nigeria is mainly an importing country.
Yes.
We import virtually everything we need in this country. So that is why the value of the naira keep on going down every day, because we hardly produce for export. Even the agricultural produce that we get in the country, we don't add value to them before we export them, because when you add value, you increase the price that you can sell it in the international market and be able to earn more. But at the end of the day, when you export without adding value, you just barely survive with whatever you get back from the buyers abroad. But if we are a country that we add value and we encourage exports, encourage manufacturing in the country, so that we can be able to export high valued goods that can bring in a lot of dollars, naira will be strong. You know, we depend on oil a lot. It's the main export foreign exchange earner for Nigeria.
Yes.
And the volatility in the oil market makes it very difficult for naira to stabilize, because if not for in recent time, the price of oil in the international market have been very low. In fact, right from when this administration came on board, it had been the price of oil have been very low. So that affected the capacity of the naira to withstand the dollar, and it has been very low for a very long time, and it's still very low now. And people are even saying that the naira may be devalued again. Who knows? So that's basically. And you look at what they are saying there.
Which of the writers are you talking about?
The writer I'm talking about is the one about Ghana. Right? It takes them only $4,000
For export.
to export just
100
100 tons. So you mean that they have conducive environment for export than Nigeria? And I'm not surprised, because there are so many people, so many agencies that you have to pass through in Nigeria
Yes.
before any product is allowed to leave the country. Some of them you will wonder whether they are even necessary. I think there's a need to harmonize these agencies. Let the federal government identify those that need to see products before they leave the country, because all this from one agency to another is all about money. At the end of the day, you're no longer competitive in the international market, and
Yes, but
at the end of the day, people will just be discouraged from producing things for export.
yes.
Yes, if you look at it, you go through a lot of trouble. You may decide, okay, why don't I move to Ghana, so that whatever I produce in Ghana, I can easily move it out of the continent and get the money I'm looking for.
Yes, let's also look at the fourth rider there. It says stakeholders raise concern over government's foreign exchange policies, post system, especially on that policies somersault and interest rates. You know, the present government administration came up with the ease of doing business in Nigeria. So what happened to that? Why is it that we keep having policies somersault, like the paper said?
But I think this government is still committed to ease of doing business. But ease of doing business has improved from what I learned, the ranking of Nigeria on ease of doing business. We have improved under this administration, unlike before. But it's like it has not been enough to solve our problem of inflow of investment and outflow of export. So we still need more work to do on that. I think government still need to do more. What are the things that are still hindering people from doing business in Nigeria and for foreign investors to come and put their money in our country? So they still need to do more about it. That's what I think. And then there is the issue of policy somersault. You know, this is very common in Nigeria. A policy comes up and before you say jack, they have changed it to another thing. That's not good for a country that wants investors and want to create a conducive environment for business to grow.
And of course, the security system too is also.
Of course, it's a part of the problem, because nobody wants to put his money in an insecure country, because money follows where it will be, where atmosphere is created for it. It's just like if you put honey. You know what will come and gather. Are you getting it? But if you don't put the adequate environment for it, there won't be investors won't come. So if there is insecurity, unless we tackle it, it will continue to affect every sector of our economy.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, we'll be going on a break. When we come back, we'll look at other papers we have on our menu. Please don't go away. Welcome back. It's still Inside Nigeria, reaching you from the Leadership Podcast Studio in the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. My name is Winnie Fodubebo, and I have with me in the studio Paul Wadima. Paul is an insider with Leadership newspaper. You're welcome once again, Paul. Yes. So we move over to our newspaper headlines, and on the menu we have Daily Sun newspaper. 2023, PDP won't solve zone presidency. That is Saraki, former Senate President Saraki. 2023, PDP won zone presidency, Saraki. And on the rider, it says hints of defection of APC bigwigs to opposition party. Hints of defection of APC bigwigs to opposition party. Appeal Court rules on Secondo's case tomorrow, talking of PDP embattled chairman. 2023 PDP won zone presidency, that is Saraki, on today's Daily Sun. Paul, what is your take on that?
Yeah, it's you know, the Governor Ugwani led PDP zoning committee.
Yes.
He recommended that one of their recommendations was that the national chairman will come from the north.
Yes.
But in the case of the presidency, they left it open.
Yes.
Even though generally there have been clamor that the presidency ought to have been zoned to the south, micro zone to the southeast, because
yes,
if you look at it, the southeast since 1999 has not produced a president for Nigeria, and there's this clamor that this time around for justice, equity, and fairness, that the presidency should go to the southeast. But in their wisdom, they decided to throw it open. It's unfortunate. To me, I see it that they are not appreciating what the southeast has done. Saraki himself that is talking, he left PDP and joined APC. The same thing with Atiku, who is also running for the presidency, who is running for the presidency now. When they left, if everyone had left PDP, PDP would have been dead. It was Southeast that sustained the party, and that's why they were able to meet something when they came back. So to me, it's unfair to throw it open, but that's the decision of the party. They have said it's going to be open. I think maybe it's strategic. They want to see what the candidate of APC first before knowing who they will bring out to know. But don't forget that the southern governors have also said that the presidency should go to the south. So it's PDP going to disregard the southern governors' position in 2023. We are waiting. We are watching to see what they will do. And Saraki hinting of defection of APC bigwigs to opposition, but it's possible. APC have not been able to put this house in order for a very long time. It has been in power for almost 8 years now. Even for it to form a board of trustee, APC don't have a board of trustee. Can you imagine a ruling party that's supposed to be on top of everything? They don't even have it. So it's a lot of people are disgruntled too. Their recent congresses resulted to a lot of parallel congress. So some are in court, some are not happy. A lot of people are not happy in APC. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of them move to PDP by 2023. It will not surprise me. That's politicians. They are always looking for where to favor them.
Of course, there's always an alignment and realignment before elections.
So I agree with you.
Okay, moving on from Daily Sun, we have the Daily Independent on our menu. Daily Independent says plot to halt PDP National Convention thickens. Plot to halt PDP National Convention thickens. Party may exit Ekiti, another state, over conflicting delegates. Says it does not expect court ruling to put convention at risk. That is on Daily Independent. You know, Secondo's motion tomorrow will be heard in the court.
Yes, and the outcome of the hearing will determine whether the convention will hold or not. And so it's because PDP, like APC, they have not understood the importance of internal party democracy.
Yes.
They like imposition. It was imposition that destroyed PDP and stopped it from ruling beyond 16 years.
Yes.
And even APs have not learned from that. Okay, look at Secondus now that his case is coming up tomorrow. Secondus said, "Give me a chance. Let me stay reach October." And now we are in October.
Yes.
If they allowed
November.
him to stay, he would have just easily.
And his tenure, I understood,
Yes, he
was
said,
expiring
"Allow
in
me to
November.
stay
In December, sorry.
reach this October." No, there was a sort of alignment that he would leave by this October. So he would have left, and they would have done their change of guard easily. Now he's going to determine whether the Congress, the convention will hold or not. Because whatever the court says tomorrow is what will hold.
Whether his removal was just
or not. You know that will have a lot of implications. Even all the congresses they have done and everything will be put in jeopardy if the court rule in favor of Secondus.
Yes, but when we say that the CJN's intervention in the judiciary matters in terms of forum function, seeking, how do I put it, by judges, by politicians, with judges, has actually helped a great deal, to stem the tide, because by now we would have been still seeing so many court injunctions everywhere concerning this PDP forthcoming convention.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it was a good.
I meant forum shopping. You know, politicians, they go to Port A, they go to Anambra, they go to Rivers,
they go to all over, even where they place courts that don't have jurisdiction.
Exactly.
States that don't have jurisdiction, they go there to go and look for injunction.
So you say that the CJN's intervention has helped to stem the tide.
It has helped, but it's not only him. Lawyers should also learn from it, because lawyers some of them are not honest with their clients. They keep on assuring them, and they keep on instituting all manners of injunctions to delay time and withhold justice, which is wrong. I think the CJN has done very well in that, and we hope that it continues, because we are about to enter the serious election business.
Next year.
That's when all manners of frivolous court rulings and injunctions are obtained. Because you can even see it in this Anambra election. You know how many governors, how many people claim they are the candidates of APC and PDP and all that.
The PDP candidate just got it from Supreme Court.
Yes, even Aga was not left out. Aga, it was Supreme Court has to determine that it was Soludo that should be there. That's how politics has degenerated in Nigeria, where people don't want to obey even the simple constitution of their party. A very small pamphlet. If you see the constitution of this party, they're very small pamphlets. But to obey it is a problem.
Recently, during the NBA convention or conference, Governor Wike of Rivers State slammed lawyers for being a ready tool in the hand of politicians.
He's right. He's right, because lawyers, many of them are just after money, to be frank. So anything that the politician, they can file frivolous charges, frivolous injunctions, just to make sure that they muddle the water, so that they delay the matter, and that the justice delayed is justice denied. So many of them are very good in that. They have become adept in that. They can, a case that's they know that their clients cannot, but they know in their heart, they know, looking at the constitution, they know, looking at the law books, they know that their clients stand no chance. But they will keep on dragging it. At the end of the day, justice are denied to those who deserve it. Unfortunately.
A clog in the wheel.
Yes, they do that a lot.
From Daily Independent, we move over to Nigerian Tribune. Away from politics, Paul, we are on Nigerian Tribune, and Nigerian Tribune is taking a different dimension on health today. 2022 budget, Senate slams health ministry over $200 million loan for mosquito nets. 2022 budget, Senate slams health ministry over $200 million loan for mosquito nets. Wow, it's a poor.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
They are made borrowing to look as something
frivolous,
something that at every time opportunity you have, just request for one, then they go and borrow. Besides, how do you spend $200 million just for mosquito nets at a time when there is a vaccine for mosquito against malaria? We know that mosquito is is one of the causes of malaria, but it's not enough to say you are budgeting 200 million.
And it's not even
dollars
for the malaria.
Just to get mosquito net. That amount can also be used even to fight malaria effectively in the whole country. What are we talking about? If look at mosquito net, do you carry mosquito net up and down? Do you carry it and move around? You just use it in the night. What of other places that mosquitoes are breeding? What do you do about them? So how do you go about this amount? You can use it and provide vector control, as you said. Yeah, it makes more sense if that's what they wanted to do. There's one billionaire in Nigeria who have been moving around saying he wants to eradicate mosquito from Nigeria. It's that kind of project, is kind of thing that government can say, okay, let us eliminate mosquito from Nigeria so that there will be no more malaria. We'll clap for them, but I think it doesn't make sense.
Support during the years ago, about 2010, during the tenure of late Professor Oshotimehin, who was the head minister at that time, you know, mosquito nets were actually donated free of charge to the federal government of Nigeria. Do you know that at the end of the day, these mosquito nets that were supposedly free were being sold in some nooks and crannies of the country?
It's a normal thing in Nigeria because it's a result of corruption. It's done everywhere in Nigeria now. Things that are supposed to be free. Even there are some goods. There's an international agency that gave school bags for supply millions of school bags for children in Northeast. I think in Borno State in particular. They were selling it in the open market. The people that are supposed to be in charge, they went to the market and sold it to the dealers. It's unfortunate. I'm not surprised that it happened, and it will still happen, because even this mosquito net they're talking about, when they bring it into the country, you see they begin to politicize it. Yes. They begin to corrupt the process. At the end of the day, the people that need it will not get it.
But one would have thought that at the time that malaria vaccine is out, the minister would have been requesting for loans, at least to procure these vaccines when they eventually come into the market, and not for mosquito nets. Yes. And this part actually said that mosquito nets is just a small aspect of
and I believe that it will even be cheaper if we pay for it now, before it's already in the market. Yes. Because look at what we are passing through now on COVID-19 vaccine. Yes. You know, there are some of these developed countries, they paid in advance, while many of our African countries were waiting for them to manufacture, and unfortunately, many of African countries now depend on donors to have vaccine. Are you getting it? So now that the World Health Organization has proved the malaria vaccine, the best thing would have been to borrow money and pay for it. At least this kind of money you borrow, we can know where the money went.
I agree with you.
Unlike some of Google's borrowings, we are wondering where is the money.
Nets. And mosquito nets that will find themselves in the market being sold at the end of the day eventually. So that's where we end today's newspaper analysis on Inside Nigeria. Don't forget, tomorrow is another day, and hopefully I'll have Bodega with me in the studio. Paul, nice having you around.
Thank you
on short notice. Thank you so much, viewers. We'll see you tomorrow. I remain Winifred Ubebo. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.